Alright. Almost done with the intro here. Alright, howdy folks, welcome back. So, quite the devastation in Turkey now. Literally, the waves and the seas roaring. Now, it was another sign to look for, right? We're seeing all this kind of ocean activity lately. Okay, the waves and the seas roaring. Okay, first of all, let's get to our solar report here. Get this kind of dialed in a little bit more brightness hopefully there for you. Here's our event from yesterday, and let's just pick up from here. You can see that object going by here. There seems to be like three of them in a diagonal row here. First is this one right here, and what I want to do is stick it back in the plasma here and go forward and backwards, and you can see as it emerges from that plasma right there. Let me zoom that in just a tad bit more so you guys can see it better. I think I'm gonna do it better right there. Alright, so you can see that one emerge right there. Then there seems to be a secondary one right here. And then there's a third one back here, a smaller one, and you'll see this little CME come out and reach out to it, and it forms a little bow shock on the back side of it right here, painting this third little object right there. Let me zoom in on that frame real quick for you guys. All right. See, here's our third little object right here. And let's see. Ooh, we could fit all this in one frame, I believe. There we go. So watch as this one emerges from the plasma right there. Just parts the plasma, emerges. You see the secondary one right up here. And then there's a smaller third one, and you see a CME come out, reach out to it as it's racing away, and builds a little plasma dam on the backside of a little, like a bow shock on the backside of it as it moves out of frame. You see how all this plasma is reacting to it too. It's reaching out to it. You roll it back and forth there. See that second wave coming out to kind of reach it. Or that could be even another little object with some oh, right there. I see some curvature. Let's whoa, I don't want to pull down that much. Right about there. There's the curvature of this third one moving out of frame. Alright, so we went a little bit too zoomed in there. Let's pull back one. There we go. Alright, so hopefully you guys can see this 1, 2, 3 punch. Okay, and then at the tail end is something right here. Not sure what that is. It almost looks kind of triangular. You guys can come over and look at it. We're not going to report too much on that one for right now. It has a weird, like, arch shape to this plasma. Something has totally taken this plasma and turned it and arced it this way. I guess unless it's picking it up right there. Anyways, there's something in there. Okay, and that was the 19th through the 20th, all right? That was the activity on the sun today. Here's this spire still glowing right here, so I expect there's probably going to be, you see this round of activity that just came out of this region. Whoops. Right here, right? So, boom, 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 boom. And there's still something glowing there, so there's probably something still going to come out of this region here in the near future. Let me pull this up a little bit. Alright, so there's your report for the 19th and 20th. So we did have some activity come off the sun today. Then, as we go, whoops, into the next part here, let's scroll back up, take a peek at our goes X-ray flux here. Scroll it over and pull it up. Fix it up a little bit so you guys can see it better. There you go. And we'll dive into this. Okay. As you can see, here's today's box right here. That's the tail end of yesterday. Here's our activity today that we just witnessed, okay? Doesn't look like much. Didn't even reach M class. So even though we have some of this activity, it doesn't really register much when the sun's very weak like this. And it's putting along, and we're into the next day, kind of putting along. Two little spikes right here, nothing too big, but now we see that, you know, something could happen, and it only registers a small spike, or doesn't even register sometimes. So we'll go back and see whatever happens here in tomorrow. But the seed site is still down, so we're just kind of doing winging a prayer with the other site. Okay, so there's your 40% M flare potential right now, okay? And with that other spire sticking off the sun, it's unfinished there. There's still more coming, so I would say leave that right where it is. 40% sounds good to me. 3 sunspots, but they're all just alpha or beta. Increased solar activity appears to be on the horizon. A number of C flares. That's old. Let me zoom back out and get a better perspective on this. Let's come over here, check out our auroras. You can see they're brightening up. Okay, this event was a little delayed. That was due on the 19th. Remember we saw the little report saying 19th to 20th time frame? Well, that's right now. For my time zone at least, it's midnight, and that's that time when that energy should be coming in and being absorbed, and these are brightening up and thickening up. So in the next few hours, they might go yellow, possibly red, depending on how much energy we have coming in from this slow inbound CME. Okay, it erupted late on the 19th, so if it takes 3 days, it's going to be here late on the 16th. Sorry, it'll be here late on the 19th, and if they don't always fly on time. It's not exactly 3 days every single time. Sometimes they're a little slower, sometimes they're a little quicker, and so we're still due this inbound energy, and it looks like it's picking up a little bit there. All right, let's come over here to our tracker to see what they show coming off the sun today. I saw something here earlier, but I don't know if it's old or what. Just a small one going off this way. The one I saw earlier today was going south. So of the two, we have one going up, and there was one earlier going this way. So of the two, neither one of them is Earth directed, which is good. Thankfully, because we don't need to be taking on any more energy right now. We have a full battery. The Earth is like a capacitor, like a battery, and it'll only hold so much charge. And then it'll start expelling charge, like a discharge. Okay, so out of there, back out of that. Yeah, you can see the KP index is pretty low right now. When this inbound energy hits, it might go to like KP4. Who knows how much energy is in it, but you can see that the KP index, it hasn't hit yet, okay? You'll see it on there when it hits. Okay, so we covered all that. Okay, let's go over to this next one here. All right, first off, let's start up here at the top and zoom in real quick for you guys here, if it'll let me. The Earth seems to have rotated east tonight. The moon tilt and the Big Dipper look strange. I do chores at night and the Big Dipper on the east side of the shop, not west, and tilted east. I'll have to take a peek. I was looking at the Orion, and it looked a little tilted. And you're telling me the Big Dipper looked tilted. Well, we are in transition too, so the Earth, we're rotating away from the sun. We're kind of tilting away from the sun. But I like your comment. I'm going to go out there and take an observation myself. Hey, everybody in the chat. Sorry I took a break there to just answer a question in chat. Thank you for your warm welcome to everybody. All right, let's get back to business here. What I wanted to point out was here, waiting for the CME. The CME, expected to hit the Earth on November 19th, has not yet arrived. NOAA forecasters think it's still coming, and they say that a minor G1 class geomagnetic storm is possible on the 20th, okay? When the belated CME strikes, aurora alerts, okay? Then they get into this comet. Is this the weirdest comet ever? Well, yeah, it seems to be, because Comet 12P continues to baffle astronomers who are monitoring the aftermath of its fourth major cryovolcanic eruption. Okay, this is the fourth major cryovolcanic eruption on this comet. All right, previous eruptions in July, October produced the devil horns that I showed you before. The latest and biggest blast on November 14th has the comet in a pearly green sphere with a dark lane inside of it. Okay, we were looking at that dark shadow, that dark lane in there. Okay, that's what they're calling it, is a lane. And we'll click on this real quick and give you a better image. Hopefully bigger image than that, please. Nope, that's not what I was looking for. All right, let's continue on. The devil horns one, let's just show it real quick. I showed you that one. Looks a lot similar, or looks very similar to the shapes that we see coming off the sun. The object with trailing, trailing like a wake almost. Anyways, it looks very similar to some of the stuff that we see on the sun, but this is not. This is a comet taking the devil horns type structure with one of its cryovolcanic outbursts. Okay. Then we have down here, here's a better image of it. There we go. You see, here's that lane here that they're talking about. This is now gone green. Look at this thing. We just looked at this last night, okay? And it had that little shadow in it. Now it has exploded again with green. All right, that's not a good sign. And it's got this weird shadow. So it has this white stripe and this weird, they think it's a shadow. Let's see. Elliot Herman, who has photographed the comet every night, has a different idea. I think the substructure is a shadow, he says. In a contrast-enhanced photo of the comet's core, Herman sees a bright plume, which may trace back to a specific volcanic event. All right, so our comet's getting weird on us. The dark lane is curved, okay? And its curvature appears to match that of the bright vent emission, he notes. This gives the impression that the dark lane may be a shadow of the brighter plume projected onto the coma. So this brighter plume is casting a shadow on its own little, on its own coma. All right? But signs in the heavens, okay? When he says you'll see signs in the moons and in the stars and in the heavens, this is a sign. This is when it's odd looking like this and it's not normal at this time and juncture that we're in. This is another sign. I guarantee it. I know how he works. So, ta-da! There's your Night of the Comet green like a Halloween type event comet. All right, so we'll keep an eye on this. The Comet 12P is changing every night, so monitoring is encouraged. The comet is currently shining at ninth magnitude, which makes it an easy target for amateur telescopes. Look for it in the constellation Hercules, not far from the bright star Vega. And there's a sky map here if you want to go look at it some more. But there is your freaky comet doing something different, okay? When you see stuff that's different like this is God working, all right? This is another sign. Anything that happens weird in the heavens now is a sign from Him, okay? We're in that time, and He tells you to look for all these signs. Even the devil horns one was a sign. I mean, all of these are. Anyways, let's move on to our shoe man. Alright, let's, that's just for, we have to do the scoot and shuffle magic. My Hollywood magic here in my little closet. Alright, so as you can see, we had a little breach in data right there, just a thin little black line. But here's the main blast that we were talking about yesterday. We came out of it softly, screeching, and then had a little weakness in our field, but it bounces right back with another screeching event due to some inbound energy sporadic right here, okay? Even kind of gave a glitch to the instrument, all right? So we're pumping right along, but we're still scraping along. We have this new event that's a little late, arriving on the 19th, 20th, but when it does arrive, okay, and it takes 4 to 6 hours to absorb, you'll see, later on after this, another screeching event, because it seems like we're awfully close. That boundary line is very tight, very close right now, so any kind of impulse makes it screech right away. So that boundary is very thin, and here we go with this new round that has yet to be absorbed. All right, so when this new round hits us, absorbs, soon we will see another spike, probably similar to this one, hitting, in the next 6 to 8 hours, probably, once it absorbs and gets down to the core and causes the core and shell to screech. Okay, so there's your shoe man for right now. Yep. And on to the earthquakes. Right. Where was I looking at? Oh, yeah. Let's just fix the screen a little bit. Alright. Let's start off with our main little spot, our starting spot right here. This quake is a 5.1 at a depth of 244. Alright, so it's not a deep quake for today. It's some of that mid-range 5 energy being scrubbed off, or starting to, reach into this zone right here. We did have mid-range 4 to 5 energy coming into the system yesterday. This is 4.9 at a depth of 102. Here we have 4.6 at a depth of 35. That mid-range 4 to 5 energy coming through here. Still nothing on this island. I'm surprised, because there was some 5s being let off here before. But either here at the beginning here where we saw this quake swarm, nothing there. So watch for it right here, because we have a gap. It jumped this gap. We have more energy over here. There's a 4.5 at a depth of 10. And then one more right here, the 4.6 at a depth of 45. So your mid-range 4 energy going through the system, mid-range 4 to 5, nothing around this area or this little weak spot yet, but watch those. Those could fill in quite easily. Now up here, remember we saw stuff going up this side of the chain, and it hadn't filled in over here. Here we go with the filling in over here. Excuse me, the cough there. This is a 5.2 at a depth of 92. So that's a mid-range 5 quake. It's down a little deeper, so that's some of that energy I was looking for being scrubbed off here, okay? Again, over here, 5.1 at a depth of 10. Okay, so that's that mid-range 4 to 5 energy creeping up through this zone. Here it dropped off a 5.8 at Japan, 41 at a depth of 41. Remember we had these deep ones here? They produce their own little localized quakes too. So I believe the jump and increase may be in this right here, because 5.8. Well, I was looking for a 6 in this area, and it's not right at the surface, but that's darn close. That's kind of our quake that I was kind of looking for in that region. Yesterday, it had made it up here and jumped over the kink here in the garden hose with some 4 energy. We saw a few 3s, but I was looking for 4s, maybe rounding and coming down into the Juan de Fuca. So here we are at the Juan de Fuca, and let's see what we have here. 4.4 at a depth of 10. So there's that mid-range 4 energy that made it, come here you, that made it over the hump, over the that Alaska Bay right there, and dropped off of mid-range 4 right there. Just kind of what I was expecting. Even inland here, come on, give me this one. A 3.2. So it drops, it diminishes once it hits the land a little bit. 3.2 and a 2.8 right there, and a 2.5 right there. So that's some of that energy that came in from yesterday, that mid-range 4 energy that made it over this fulcrum point, and that was traveling down into this region. We also have a quake here in Texas, 3.6. That's where it turns the corner and goes up the plate there. Let's see, what's this? A 4.4 here in Mexico. We also have a 4.4 here in Puerto Madero, Mexico. This is right by the Cocos plate, so let's go in. This is a very sensitive area, so we got to watch this closely. All right, it's not right on the edge of the shelf right here. You can see that this area up here is a plateau. Then there's a shelf, an edge right here, a cliff, and then it drops down to the ocean floor, down to the trench, down to our plate boundary line. So it's on the edge. It's on the down inside the face of this cliff, so it didn't create a landslide up here. You can see that maybe, whoops, this area, this edge isn't perfectly straight. You can see how we have a nice formed 90-degree edge right here. As you come over here, you can see that some of this area has sloughed away in the past, right in that zone right there. So, and we have a quake there. So, but it's not too big. 4.4, depth of 10, right there. That's your mid-range 4 energy. Made it all the way over here. Plus this one is a 4.1 down at 63. So energy got transferred through this plate and dumped off a few 4s there. 4.3 there. 4.6 there at the fulcrum point. 4.1, I believe there's another one hiding in there right there, and a 4.3. So we had 4 of these 4 to mid-range 4 quakes right there, releasing the energy. Diverting right over. Here's another quake down here in Argentina, 4.6. So that mid-range 4 energy all over, being dispersed all over pretty evenly. Okay, even down here, once it made it to this plate, it traveled down here and dumped off a 4.9. Okay. Over here in the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, real quick, this is energy being dumped off. We have upwelling going along this ridge. Okay, this is the crack in the planet that goes from the North Pole to the South Pole, basically. All right, it goes all the way up. It's a big crack, and everything comes up from here and spreads this direction and that direction from this point. All right, so here's where we have our quake releasing energy, mid-range 5 right there. That's good. It's releasing energy, but this area will become a hazardous area here pretty soon. We're going to see land popping up from underneath the ocean because this whole thing is ripping open, and all kinds of magma, even nickel and stuff is coming out of this crack now. All right, so it's going volcanic and building landmass under the water. Eventually, you're going to see a continent build out here. Believe it or not, yes, you will. And it can happen pretty quick, quicker than you think. Right here, we have a current quake at 4.4 here in Turkey. Then we also had earlier a 4.1 there. That's 2.2 depth, and this one is 10. So these are pretty shallow quakes, especially this 2.2 right there. So a couple of shallow quakes right here, rocking Turkey a little bit. All that footage I showed you of the devastation was here in Turkey. They got hit with tidal surges and windstorms right through here that just pushed all this water up in there. They called it like a tsunami, but it's more of a wind generated, storm generated water event that pushed up in there. Over here, we really need to get serious about this now. I don't know about you folks. Some of you watch Mike from around the world, Paul Begley. Mike is, I know him well. Let's just say I know him well. And I don't agree with everything, but he says, but he knows a lot, okay? And you should listen to him. And now when he talks about Italy and the concern for Italy, it's not very evident what's going on there. So I'm going to start to point this out like Dutch style. If you want to see a big volcano, here's the rim of the volcano. And when it collapsed, it went down into this pit here, all right? This is the rim of a giant volcano, and down in the caldera here, we have activity. Our 4.8 is down at 410. I want you guys to look closely at 410. That is a deep quake in this region. It's not a deep quake region. It's right inside this big caldera. That's signs of activity coming to life, all right? The more energy we take in the planet, it has to relieve it somehow, and it's pushing magma up to the surface. Now we're starting to see quakes. They're not here on the plate boundaries. What I'm trying to say, look, let me show you the plate boundary line. This plate boundary line runs right up through it, offshore, back into the country, right up through there, okay? That's usually where our quake activity is. This is different, all right? I want you to look at that for a minute. I may be wrong, but look at this structure. And around it, see how everything gets deeper here, down here? This could be possibly an old caldera. All right, we have all these volcanic islands over here in Sicily and Greece and stuff. All right, so we have these volcanoes that are on the rim of this old caldera here that go up Italy here. Okay, so let me just back out again. It's not really obvious until somebody kind of points out the structure here. Boom, 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 boom. And this big deep pit that goes down in there, and that's where our earthquake is hit. Now, if it were at 10 kilometers or something, that'd be different. That'd be energy being scrubbed at the surface. This is down in this pit, down underneath it. Okay? That's a clue that this is starting to stew down there. All right. I think that's it for the earthquake report. Yeah, we're just going to keep a close eye on what's going on here. Now, this is far from going off right now. You know, a lot would have to be absorbed in order to see this thing go berserk. But the last time we had a good impulse of energy, so much pressure built up that 19 volcanoes erupted simultaneously. Of the 50 that are in current eruptive stage, 19 of them went off simultaneously last time. That could relieve pressure and cause this to stop going, stop this activity. So pressure released in one place helps other places. Sometimes this is relieving pressure right now, just that little quake, but it's a sign. This 4.8 is down there at 410. All right, it's not super deep. It's when you go down below the ocean, down to the bottom of this, you're halfway there. So the magma that caused this quake is not too much further underneath this pit. Okay, so moving on. Was that it? Quakes? Yes. Oh, yeah, because we're gonna do a little something different tonight. Okay, so here is our forecast. You guys are probably hoping to get through this so we can get to the spiritual part. Or some of you are like, take your time and let's see this. All right, let's just start this loop real quick. All right. Next thing is this big storm, all right, for the next couple of days right there through the 22nd. There's the 23rd, 24th, going into the 25th. So most of the country pretty clear for the 24th and 25th. So that's a good thing for the travel holidays, except for some people that are trying to leave early. Look at that monster right there, but that's not until December, okay? And that's so far out now. These before we could, report on that stuff, but things change so radically, so quickly. That anything past 3 to 4 days is just not as accurate as it used to be. Sometimes it is, but when we have these impulses from the sun, it changes everything. Okay, so current conditions right now, the night time of the 19th. This is the time from here, from this frame forward, is when we're supposed to be getting some inbound energy because it hasn't hit yet. So as we progress, keep that inbound energy in the back of your mind. Nighttime of the 19th going into the morning of the 20th. You see this low wrapping up and taking form here, all right? This is going to be more intense as this energy hits us. That's the morning of the 20th. There's the noon time right here. You can see a little bit of severe weather starting to creep in there. That's the end of convection on the 20th. This has the possibility of being a lot stronger. The bombogenesis effect due to inbound energy coming from the sun. All right, so let's focus on this little frame for a second. The end of convection here is pretty important. This is Arkansas, trailing back into Louisiana, going into Mississippi, clipping parts of Tennessee. All right, this whole area, and just because it shows this little yellow wedge doesn't mean that's perfectly where it's going to hit. It could hit anywhere in this region. Okay, so you people in this region, be on alert tomorrow. Okay, that's the 20th. Yeah. That's the 20th, the end of convection, okay? Now let me just get one more frame here. All right, now it blossoms into the nighttime, okay? I'm going to zoom this frame in too because this is important, all right? This is the best zooming I can get, but now it has blossomed more at night. We're talking nocturnal thunderstorms with possible hail, high winds, lots of rain, high wind. You see all these millibars, tight millibars. That's high wind, okay? Large hail, okay? If you don't leave your car sitting out that night, all right? Park it under a carport or put it in an underground parking garage. Take a cab home. Throw a bike in the back of your truck and leave the truck at the underground parking garage and ride your bike home. Or I don't know what you have to do, but you might want to not have your vehicles out in a hailstorm. Okay, that's the nocturnal event right there as it blossomed from the end of convection into the nighttime. Then it really wraps up. You see how it really kind of coming together here, taking this comma shape of the tail And this is the morning time of the 21st. Now, again, I'm going to zoom in here. It's not too much, but it's important to know this is the time frame. All of this could be intensified, okay? And you're looking at this tail that's coming back down here. They're showing up here more northernly. I would think it would be a bit more back down here, but up here into Tennessee, northern Alabama, heavy rains up into Ohio, all the way around with snow on the backside up here, okay? This is going to be your travel holiday, early holiday travel nightmare, okay, for this region. And that's why I'm doing the time frames too. So if you guys are making plans, you have flights or whatever, leaving certain areas at certain times, that's the end of convection on the 20th, right? That's sundown the 20th, going blossoming harder into the nighttime of the 20th to the morning of the 21st. Then we go into the noontime of the 21st, still scattered ones back down through here. This thing is cranking up, okay? Even a little icing event on the backside here. Noontime, then we go into the end of convection, sundown for this region with all these pockets of severe weather going all the way going all the way down through here, okay? So traveling on this day, you could experience some delays, cancellations possibly. All right, so plan accordingly. I'm trying to give you a couple of days heads up here, or the next couple of days a heads up in case you're planning on making travel plans. I already got mine done and out of the way, but other people haven't. So this is what to expect, okay? Oh, no, yeah, we got to back out to use the button. Okay. So the end of this is the sundown of the 21st going into the nighttime, all right? Again, I'm going to zoom in on this because this is the nighttime of the East Coast. 10 p.m. Pacific translates into 1 in the morning out here on the coast, where this is going to still be there. Intense, severe weather right here on the coastline. It hasn't hasn't gone offshore yet. Snow up here into Canada. If you guys got people up, family up there that you're going to, expect snow. Icing in between, pockets of icing in between there. Okay, so this storm is going to be a little bit of a headache here for the next couple of days as everybody's trying to travel a little bit. So expect delays. If you're going that way, carry chains, put your emergency kit in your car, blankets, water, batteries, flashlight, all that good stuff. Okay, candles too, sometimes to keep warm in case you run out of gas. So that right there is the nighttime of the 21st, the morning, the very early morning, going into the morning of the 22nd. Some of it's still offshore, but trailing back still across the southern southeast right here with bands of intense thunderstorms there at the morning hours of the 22nd. We go into the noontime. You see how this starts to blossom harder out here, but it's off the coast. There's still residual back here on land, all right? That's the noontime of the 22nd. That's the afternoon or the sundown end of convection, the 22nd. And then it kind of clears the coast by then at nighttime of the 22nd. A little bit reaching back up from offshore back up into Maine as it skirts that region. A little bit hitting Nova Scotia there, and then it's out of here. Little cold impulse coming up through here out of Montana into Wyoming. See this coming down, sneaking in the back door here after this moves out. Boom, boom, boom. So there's the morning of noon of the 23rd. It moves across the Rockies through the nighttime of the 23rd. So here we are, the morning of the 24th. This is Thanksgiving, all right? So morning of the 24th. There's the noontime, the end of convection, and the nighttime of the 24th. Okay, so this little event right here in the central part of the country, we're going to have some snow. A lot of flights connect through Denver here, so there might be delays on the 24th, but most people are already wherever they need to go by then. So, small little pocket snow moving through the central part of the country right there on the 24th, going into the end of convection, the nighttime, the morning of the 25th, and then on out of there. And the rest of it looks pretty clear for a while. Okay, and it's too far out to really kind of go into this. This thing right here, if projected, could possibly be a nightmare here with this big icing event. You see how our storms are connecting up and getting like really big, huge comma shape. They cover more, the whole country. Mike was right. We knew this was coming. And now you're seeing some of the stuff that he was saying coming true here too. So I'm not the only one saying this. He's been saying this as well. Okay, so we're done. We're done there. Okay, now we're going on to the spiritual report. All right, cool. All right, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed the solar earthquake, all that stuff report. Now we're going to move on to the spiritual report. And boy, was the Lord had me writing again. More of this automatic writing. Some of it's so scribbled it's not scribbled, it's just so intense it's not even in a right form. It's hard to go through notes that are from a madman. No. All right. From our Lord, really. It's just complex. All right, so we're going to go right here to this. And we're going to start off with this image right here. Come on now. Oh, we're in the middle of a song, so let me just pause it right there. Let me even blow this image up for a minute here so you can see it well. All right? A lone knight standing there fighting, okay? Now, how did we go about this? Oh, that is at the end. All right, so how should we start? Okay, when you look at this knight, all right, I want you to think of something here. A knight denotes a soldier of the kingdom, right? He works as a soldier for the king, all right? So Jesus being the King of Kings, and you being a follower, a spiritual warrior, that would make you a knight. And you're supposed to put on the armor of God every day, have the sword of the Spirit, the Word of God, all right? So he's telling you that you're a knight, all right? And this image, there's so much going on here, and I'm trying to explain it the best. So let me look at my notes again. So as you look at this knight, all right, this symbolizes you or as a spiritual warrior, a believer. You're fighting for Christ, right? You're fighting for the Lord, right? He has given you armor. He's given you his word, which is the sword right here, all right? And this is the demonic realm. This is the darkness, all right? You can see this lightning or this fire as he touches down in the middle of all of this all these demons, okay? That's like you here on this earth. As a believer, you're surrounded by darkness, okay? You just can't see it yet. The veil hasn't been lifted yet, all right? Now, I have shown you glimpses from the other side, okay? From looking through the veil and seeing the spiritual realm, okay? And when that veil falls, you're going to be surrounded by all this, and it might scare people, all right? So, first of all, let's back up. As this knight, you got your armor, okay? You got the sword, which is the word of God. It's also the Spirit of God, the spirit of courage, okay? Now, when he drops down into the group of all these evil demons, they all jump back and go, oh, shit! hold, they're freaked out. They are panicking. They are freaked out. If you look over here, if I can get this better, pan this over, you can see the dragon up here, and he's rearing up. He's roiling back. Everybody is backed up, and even one guy here has dropped his weapons and is starting to pray. He's the smart guy. He's throwing his weapons down and starting to pray already. But this powerful knight has stepped down, and now he has this armor on. All these guys know that this armor is impenetrable. This guy is invincible. He's just by wielding the sword. He doesn't even have to swing the sword. Just by standing and wielding the sword and hold just this pose. If I can get this pulled back over here. All right. So kind of get this into your, like a little visual in your mind that you're this warrior. You're a spiritual warrior standing there with your armor on, wielding the word of God, the sword, amongst all this demonic activity. These guys are freaking out. They're like, is he going to kill us? Is he here to kill us? And they know that, he was telling me, 1,000 will die by your side and 10,000 by your right hand. Okay? He doesn't even have to swing this. He could say the words of God and take out 10,000 with one swing. Another 1,000 will fall at his side first, then 10,000 with one swing. You add those together, that's 11,000. Not just 10,000. That's 11,000. And if you look at this picture, there's easily, 11,000 right there. And they're all sweating bullets because this guy just made an appearance. And they're like, jump back. Oh, shit. What the fuck do we do now? All right. Now, this is, okay. So you're a knight, technically. If you're fighting for God and you're a spiritual warrior with your armor and your sword, that makes you a knight. All right. You're a knight of the kingdom of Jesus, the kingdom of God. All right. You're a spiritual warrior in the spiritual realm. And in this, you can see he's in the valley of the shadow of death, or the shadow of darkness. Okay. And this valley of darkness, this valley, the shadow of death, is the earth that you're living on right now. Okay? Because you're all going to die. Everybody, at the end of your ride, we all die. All right? But in this valley, the shadow of death that lingers over us, we're going to die eventually someday. While you're in this valley, fear no evil. Okay? You gotta imagine yourself as this spiritual warrior, fearing no evil. These guys should fear you. Okay? You have the authority. This is what I'm trying to show you is your authority. Okay? And there should be a shield of faith. You should be holding a shield too, but this is an image from something else. I just found this and God's like, here, use this. So, there's your courage, okay? He wants you to stand your ground. He wants you to not be moved. Do not be moved or shaken. You are a knight of the kingdom. Everything around you should be shaking because of you, okay? You're a one knight versus an army, okay? And that's a spiritual way of living inside, okay? And lo and behold, that's how you're supposed to feel in your heart, okay? You're a spiritual warrior, clothed in the, with the armor, impenetrable. These guys are freaking out because they know there's nothing they can do. He's just one man. They're praying he doesn't swing that sword or say a word. They're about ready to bow down. Some of them, this guy dropped his sword and is praying already. All right? Now, when the veil is lifted, all right, and the demonic realm is going to be visible to your eyes, you're going to see all this demonic, everybody that you didn't know was demonic, you're going to see them, all right? It's going to come out, and they're going to see you, and you're going to be standing your ground like a knight with your armor on, yielding the sword, the word, the Spirit of the Lord, Okay? So this is meant to kind of be a visual to empower you as to the power that you have as a believer in Christ. Okay, you are like the Knights of what the Templar Knights or something. They were spiritual warriors, except they kind of went about it physically. You're supposed to go about it spiritually. And each one of these little things represents something that comes at you every day. This evil spirit that cut you off in traffic and made you, irritated. The banker that didn't cash your check. All these different things that happen to you, negative things that happen to you in the day. You got to stand there and take it. All right. You got this impenetrable armor on. You got the word, the sword of the spirit. When that veil falls, everybody else is going to look like this, and you're going to be looking like this. All right. And they're going to jump back and be like, "Oh shit." All right. So, do we get it all? Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Okay, so when the veil is lifted, you will look like this, all right? So that's the spirit to kind of have in your heart here. You're a knight, all right? Oh, that's the other part. The females. The females. There's a lot of women that watch this channel, and you ladies are knights as well, all right? Note that my last name is Knight with a K. Knight in shining armor. I already found this. I am a knight, and so are you. You're being knighted tonight, all right? And a fun thing to kind of do is take your name, for instance, your first name and your last name. If you put the term the knight as your middle name, it's kind of fun to help you stay strong. So, Sarah the Knight Butterfield, whatever. You can see how it works there. So you take your first name, you replace your middle name with the Knight. Now that you're a knight, an actual one fighting for the Lord, you're a real one. Be Jimmy the Knight Buffett or whatever like that. All right. So it's fun to kind of keep that in the back of your mind to remind you that you're a spiritual warrior. Okay, this is not a game. This is the real freaking deal. This is why I'm trying to teach you guys slowly the best way I can. It's kind of weird, but all right. So there you guys are. That's you standing there. I'm already there. This is me standing there taking on an army every day. Everywhere I go, I get just bombarded. All right. And if it's happening to me, it's going to be happening to the other believers here eventually too. Okay. So this is how you have to stand. Stand your ground. Don't be moved or shaken. You're the one that's moving and shaking things. Not these guys. It's you. And when you touch down like that as a believer, it becomes a knight. Wham! You are unstoppable. You're invincible, and these guys are freaking out. They're freaking shit in their pants going, now what do we do? Are you here to kill us before our time? And you just stand there, yield the word of God, the spirit, sword, you're penetrable, the shield of faith. If this is a better picture, you'd be holding a shield. A knight usually has a shield too. So there is that, and I think we're going to do a reading to this image as well tonight, all right? Because we're always using the image of Jesus, and I love that one, and we don't want to wear it out. And tonight's message is a little different anyway, so that's you right there, all right? Now, this is another part that we didn't get written on the notes. A lot of you people are struggling with your families right now. They're not believers. They don't look at this stuff. They think it's a bunch of voodoo, hoodoo, woo, woo, wah, wah, whatever, right? And you're struggling. You're feeling alone because as a believer, maybe you see some other people out there, but you're feeling kind of alone. You're this lone knight standing there trying to tell everybody, hey, God's real. It's really going down. I'm yielding the word of God, the sword right here. It should be noticeable. Everybody takes notice of this sword. He doesn't even have to swing it. They're so scared when they see this sword right there. They see that sword and they know that sword means motherfucking business. All right, I hate to curse, but this side curses, and when they see this sword, they go, "Oh, that thing means motherfucking business." He pulled it out and he's yielding it. He's not afraid to pull it out. And they're the ones that are afraid. Now that he's drawn it, they're like, uh-oh, now what do we do? Okay, that's you. That's the power that you have with your prayers. I want you to hold on to this, okay? Now, this image comes from this heroic orchestral music, all right? This is a lot of the music that I use in my openings. There are probably, it's like 27 to 30 songs along this little track right here, all right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link to this right here in the description after this video. So when you guys are doing chores around the house, if you like this kind of music, you can put it on the background. If you're doing things around the house, you got this music playing on. Every once in a while, in between chores, you look over and you see yourself. You see a reflection of yourself. Yes, I'm this unstoppable warrior. That the darkness cowers in my mere presence, yielding the word of God. All these entities are about to bow. He doesn't have to kill a single one of them. They're gonna bow. Every knee will bow. When they recognize the power and authority right there, they will get on their knees. Okay, we're sorry. This guy's already smart enough and he's starting to do it already. It's hard to tell. But if you come over to this, I'm going to leave this link in there. And hopefully you guys enjoy all this music. It's a bunch of instrumental, orchestral music that's very heroic, inspiring music. So it's this stuff. Where's the music? Alright, so for instance, think of yourself unstoppable while you're doing dishes, while you're out there in traffic, while you're fighting all these negative entities out there in the field. You are this lone knight fighting for Jesus, alright? Alright, let's kind of leave that low in the background. I'll go out like that. Alright, so what did I have picked out here? Did it go this sequence? Always a sequence of the things. It's like so complicated sometimes. I want to get it just right. Okay, here we go. So looking at this image, knowing that the power that the Lord has given you and trusting you as his noble knight to spread his word and use the power and authority that you have inside of you, you are ready for anything and equal to anything through your living relationship with me. Rest in my presence while I infuse inner strength into you. Because you are a child of the King of Kings, because you are a knight of the King of Kings, you are capable of so much more than you realize. To benefit fully from your privileged position, however, you need to spend ample time with me. As you relax in my presence, delighting in me and opening your heart to me, I fill you with inner strength. This time spent together is not only pleasurable, but it is empowering. When there is much to do, it's tempting to rush through your time with me and dive into the activities of the day. But just as eating a healthy breakfast helps you function at your best, so does feeding your soul a healthy diet of me. Bask in my word, asking my spirit to make it come alive to you. Savor these words of life. Your living relationship with me helps you approach each day new with confidence, ready for anything that comes your way. Anything that comes your way. Anything that comes your way. What else is the other thing we were going to read, Lord? Yeah, it's where to go. Okay, I want you to have no fear of bad news. The only way to accomplish this feat is to have a steadfast heart in trusting in me. There is an abundance of bad news in the world, but you don't need to be afraid of it. Instead, confidently rely on me, believe in me, find encouragement in my sacrificial death on the cross and my miraculous resurrection. I, your living Savior, Almighty God, I am sovereign over global events. I am still in control. When things around you in the world seem to be spinning out of control, come to me and pour out your heart. Instead of fretting and fuming, put your energy into praying. Come to me not only for comfort but also for direction. I will help you find the way forward. Moreover, I take your prayers into account as I govern your planet in ways far, far beyond your understanding. Don't dread bad news or let it spook you. Instead, keep your heart steadfast and calm and confident and trust in me. Now, what's the other one? Um, oh, every time something thwarts your plans or desires, use that as a reminder to communicate with me. This practice has several benefits. The first is obvious. Talking with me blesses you and strengthens our relationship. Another benefit is that disappointments instead of whoops. Another benefit is that disappointments instead of dragging you down are transformed into opportunities for good. Okay? That's the main thing right there. Benefits that disappoint, instead of dragging you down, transform them into opportunities for good. You have to see this aspect in your life, or otherwise you're just going to be uh, held down and held back. All right? This transformation removes the sting from difficult circumstances, making it possible to be joyful in the midst of adversity. Okay? Adversity is coming at you from every angle, all right? Every single one of these are all different adversities, all these different little adversities. You can still be joyful in the midst of that, okay? Now, begin by practicing this discipline in all the little disappointments of your daily life. It's often these minor setbacks that draw you away from my presence. When you reframe setbacks as opportunities, you find that you gain much more than you have lost. It is only after much training that you can accept major losses in this positive way. But it is possible to attain this perspective. Okay? It is possible to attain this perspective. Okay? What else do we have? I thought I had picked out another one. Oh, okay, here. Walk peacefully with me through this day. You are wondering how you will cope with all that is expected of you. You must traverse this day like any other, one step at a time. Instead of mentally rehearsing how you will do this or how you will do that, keep your mind on my presence and on taking the next step. The more demanding your day, the more help you can expect from me. This is a training opportunity. Since I designed you for deep dependence on your shepherd, oh, shepherd, period. Challenging times wake you up and amplify your awareness of needing my help. When you don't know what to do, wait while I open the way before you. Trust that I know what I'm doing and be ready to follow my lead. I will give strength to you and will bless you with peace. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, we covered everything in the notes. We got all the readings done. Yeah, okay. So, you guys, if you feel like no one believes you and you're all alone out there, I almost made the title one word, Alone Night. But you're not alone. Even though you're by yourself out here amongst all this stuff, you still got Jesus. That's who you have. You got the best buddy in the world, the God. All right? So remember, you're a soldier in this battle. And this is what God's doing. He's like testing people. This war, the spiritual war, is real, and you can't be a wimp in this war. You gotta be a warrior in this spiritual war. Okay? You're in battle, you just don't know it. So envision, help the, use this image to kind of help give you motivation and kind of guide you as to the power that you have. Okay, I just knighted everybody at this channel. All right, so your middle name now is the Knight. Okay, and take that to heart. You have that power. You're entrusted by God. He's letting you wield His sword, His word. All right, so go out there and get them. Stand your ground too. Don't be moved at all this stuff. All right, you see all this evil around you, and when the veil falls, all this evil's going to be standing around you. And I've already given you glimpses of the spiritual realm. All right. In fact, that's what we're going to do. Stop right there, because we have some other stuff I neglected to cover. I got too excited. We have this as well. Now, from last night, we had this image, this ghostly looking face, show up on this instrument. Okay, if you tilt your head to the right, let me get the lighting a little better here. You can see this, let me try and get this just a tad bit better here for you. Zoom out a little bit. I think we're too zoomed in. Yeah, we had this ghostly little face right here with an eye, perfect nose, mouth, mustache, the chin. All right, I'm going a little tighter in it. Now you can see the eyes, the nose, mouth, beard. Okay, this face right here in the sulfur dioxide gas that's over China. All right. Now, I got something else to show you too here. This is the good part. All right. This is a different one. And are we at the right spot? Oh, yeah, we are. I need to blow it up a little bit better. And back it out a little bit better. All right. So here we have a similar image of this face in the clouds. And you probably can't see it quite yet, but it's Yoda. There's an eye right here and an eye right here. His ears are coming off over here and over here. All right, let me get this just a tad bit better. There we go. It's kind of bright. So his eyes, his little button nose, he's got these little chubby little cheeks right here. This is the bottom of his chin right there. His ear coming out. Here's his dome head with all the wrinkles in it. All right. And this was captured hovering over the Sierra Nevadas here. You can see how big these mountains are in the background here. All right. And that's how big these faces in the sky are. Let's see if we can get this pulled back in a little bit. Now, I don't know what part Yoda plays in all this. I think I've seen some Chinese writings with this little character, this little green kind of dome-headed, big-eared character from long ago in their writings. I believe it's probably symbolizes a ascended master. Yoda's the master, spiritual master, right? Teaching spiritual lessons, watching me wherever I go. All right, so hopefully you can see that Yoda face there. This video over at my channel is called Star Wars, okay? I would show you the Death Star, but you can't really see it well when I'm doing the camera to my computer. So if you want to see Yoda better and you want to see the Death Star better, come over to my channel, type in Star Wars at the little, or you can go to videos and scroll down to Star Wars. You can type it in that little search bar on my channel and watch this little video right here where we captured Yoda. All right, spiritual, ascended spiritual master watching me from the clouds right there. And it reminded me a lot of this image yesterday when we captured this similar face here over the Gobi Desert here. Okay, and that's a real face. The geometry on a face is hard to do, all right? There's so many points of contact that have to be just right in order for a face to have symmetry and make a face. If two eyes are on the one side, it's not going to be a face. They have to be equal distance to the nose, to the top of the head. It's a formula. The face is actually a formula, a math formula that's, it's not a freak of nature. It's designed. When you see these perfectly designed faces, tilt your head to the right a little bit. You can see a little bit better. The eye, nose, mouth, chin, beard. We'll even do a little bit of, well, that's about the best right there, I guess. All right, these are spiritual events that are taking place. Lord said, when you see this and you see that, look up. Another thing we've been showing here that's kind of gone unnoticed was the waves and the seas roaring. Okay, that was another part of the prophecy. And now I showed you Turkey, all these countries getting hit. They're freak tsunamis with no earthquakes. Okay, so the waves and the seas are roaring. Okay, there's real activity that's going on. Whoops, let's go back like this. You come over to this little search thing and you type in Star Wars there, and it'll take you right to it. We're going to do the Christmas gift again. Oh, come on, I forgot the T. Go back one. There we go. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull up this image real quick so you guys can see these faces in the clouds. I thought an ad. Okay. So the spiritual realm is all around us already. Okay, you just can't see it yet. So when the veil falls and all this stuff is visible to the regular people, to the naked eye, they're going to start flipping out, right? And when the veil falls, they're going to be exposed for what they are, and you're going to be exposed for what you are, and you're going to be standing here as this knight wielding a sword with the power of the Lord coming down on you, light radiating off of you, and people will believe you then, okay? So if your family doesn't believe you right now, that's okay, because one day you will stand in glory, empowered by the Lord, and everybody will be bowing, going, oh, man, I see you wielding that sword, the sword of truth, the Spirit of the Lord, the Word of the Lord right there. And you're carriers of it. This is the power that you really have here. Come over here and listen to this music while looking at this picture and think about what I told you. You'll feel more empowered, okay? Trying to boost your spirituality here and get you guys prepped for battle, okay? Prepped for spiritual warfare. You guys are already at it. You just didn't know, and I need a few things to point it out and guide you as you go. All right, so keep the faith. All right, you guys are knights. You're out there battling. Your little knights. Women are too. Oh, that was the point I was going to make too. I don't watch Game of Thrones. I guess there's some character in there. The Lord makes me watch these things real quick, and I'm like, why am I watching this? But apparently, there's a character. It's a female knight. All right, she's not the most prettiest woman in the world. She's kind of homely and very big statured, and she wears a suit of armor with the shield down. And in the show, she battles other men, other knights, and takes them out. She beats them in dueling and in contests. And when she raises her lid, lo and behold, it's a woman. So you see the shock on these guys. They've all jumped back. It can be a woman too, all right? In my family, there are women named Knight as well, all right? So you women out there are knights too. You see this cowling come down? Just pretend, ladies, that that's your dress, all right? You got the shield, you got the armor, you got your dress on, all right? So this is a spiritual entity. It's male and female, okay? That's you guys. So it empowers both of you guys. out there, all right? It's not just a guy. You women are also knights out there too, wielding the spirit and the sword of God, the word of God. Okay. So I think that was the message for tonight. At least that's the best I can do to get it across and say it the way it needs to be done, I guess. So with that, I think we covered everything. Did we cover everything? Because it seems to catching things at the tail end here that I missed. So we'll go back to this image right here. Happened on Easter. Most soothing picture. That's your king right there. All right. You do have a king. You are real knights. Also, too, the term princess denotes inheriting a kingdom. So there's some princesses there too. All right, you ladies, you're princesses. You're about to inherit a kingdom. You'll get a crown, a little tiara. You gentlemen, you're princes. You're about to inherit a kingdom. Okay, that get your crown here. Just keep fighting for the Lord. And oh, something else too. This mountain right here in the foreground right here, it's not much. I used this picture because it was the one with the least mountain in the background. I don't know if you guys remember, but just a couple months ago, I was homeless. I just had about a homelessness I was a little concerned, all right? It's not fun being out in the elements. But it was interesting how I ended up at the base of this mountain, camped out. I ended up at the base of this mountain, the very mountain where these pictures were taken. So I end up homeless at the base of this mountain, and I knew I could trust that I would be delivered because I had seen I had taken these pictures there before. I knew he put me in this place for a reason. I didn't freak out. I just did the Lord's will, and sure enough, I was delivered from the wilderness. I spent about 40 days out there. Imagine that, 40 days. And then, sure enough, something else happened, and an act of God happened, and I was delivered. But I wasn't worried about it because He has delivered me over and over and over throughout the course of my life. As I look back at all the different difficulties I've had, you guys look back on your own path and look at all the difficulties you've had. How many times has He delivered you? And you just didn't know it. You made it through this. You made it out of that. You move forward with life, and now you're at this juncture right now, right here, listening to me, watching this show. How many times has He delivered you already? I'm sure a lot of you out there already have your own testimonies. That's why you're here at this channel. You're here for a reason. There's no accident that you're here, all right? You're the elite. You're the knights of the round table. The kind of spiritual knights, all right? We're not supposed to make idols or anything. This is a spiritual representation, all right, of what the power that you have inside of you, okay? And know that it comes from your king. He's a king. You're a disciple. You're a spiritual warrior for Christ that technically makes you a knight. All right? So you knights out there, go get them. All right? Take it on. Take on this darkness. Fear no evil. In the shadow, in the valley of darkness, the valley of death here, you're going to ascend higher after this plane. All right? Death is not death. All right, you will move on and ascend. And would you rather be this or would you rather be these guys? All right, I think you guys already made your decisions, but I figured I'd leave this picture for you guys as motivation to help inspire you guys. It helps me. Maybe you'll enjoy the music, the imagery, and I think that's about it. Is it, Lord, really? Did we get everything covered? No. Yeah, I think we did, finally. All right. That's it for tonight. I love you guys. I miss you all. Hang in there. Remember your knights, all right? Go get them. Stand strong. Stand your ground. Don't be moved. Don't be shaken. Even when, curveballs come at you, it's a test. And you need to, how you react to these curveballs is what the test is. So, anyways, that's it. I love you. I miss you all. God bless you all. Until my next show, I'll be back. I'm already back. Can't you tell?